Hayato Kisaragi dreams about a village being destroyed by a savage, a demon-like giant. Hayato tries to run away with a girl, but is attacked by the savage and he is separated from her. However, the savage is attacked before it can finish off the girl. Hayato awakens from his sleep, and he is about to begin his training to be a slayer in the academy named Little Garden. Hayato is popular as he has the highest 100 compatibility score ever. He attends the entrance ceremony but is swarmed by his fellow students. He meets Emile Crossfoot, who pretends to be a male. She is a first-year student and she wants to be his friend, but actually, she's the girl from his dream, a childhood friend he doesn't remember. He also meets Fritz and Leisha, who are best friends. The entrance ceremony begins, headed by the student council vice president, Erica and Liddy. The student council president and the captain of the Little Garden, Claire Harvey, welcomed them into the school. Two girls are late to the ceremony and are expelled by Claire. Emile criticizes Claire's decision and is about to be expelled. Hayato begs Claire to be lenient. Claire challenges him to a duel, and if he wins, she will overturn the expulsion. Claire is the strongest student in the academy, but Emile believes Hayato can beat her. She takes him to see her friend, the chief researcher of the 100, and the academy's main technologist, Charlotte Demandias. Charlotte hands Hayato his 100, a special weapon used to fight the savage form, but only a few people can activate this power. Hayato learns about Claire's 100. Emile tells him how to activate his 100 called the Flying Swallow. Soon after, Emile helps him train, but he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Hayato visits his sister, Karen, in the hospital, and although she is angry at him, she forgives him. He walks up to Emile while changing and she knocks him out. She tells him that they are roommates. Hayato reveals he cannot see anyone getting hurt. The next day, Claire and Hayato get ready to have their duel. The rules of the duel are explained and Claire promises not to use her full body armament, the strongest technique in her arsenal. Emile acts as Hayato's support and the duel begins. He still doesn't know what the hell he's doing and bumps into her and she gets mad and attacks him. Emile helps him, but even his Getsuga Tenshu version can't pass through Claire's defense. He is about to lose when, all of a sudden, he turns the tide of the battle by his Bankai form and starts to overwhelm Claire. Claire uses her full body armament and shoots Hayato with her gun Kamehameha. Claire reveals she lost to herself because she used the armament, and the battle ends in a tie. Later that day, Hayato wakes up in the hospital and finds out that Claire has overturned the expulsion. Emile helps him recover and takes him to Central, the academy's business district. Hayato becomes more popular because of his duel. Karen meets Hayato at Central. Emile lies that she is a male, but Karen doesn't believe her. Karen has fun with Hayato and Emile, but Claire interrupts them. She wants him to join the selections, a special unit under the council. This enables him to be a student, but also embark on missions as a slayer. Emile wants to join too, but Claire rejects her. She and Liddy have a duel, but stop after an emergency comes up. Charlotte tells Claire to take Hayato and Emile to the emergency. 3 savages are attacking Zwei Island. They find out one of the savages is a Trenta class and its abilities are unknown. Claire decides not to take Hayato and Emile, because the savage is too dangerous and they have no field experience. Hayato and Charlotte convince Claire to let him help in the fight. He also reveals he lost part of his memories after a savage attack many years ago. Neimai explains the plan and everyone knows their task. They struggle against the Trenta class savage. Claire is about to be killed, but Hayato saves her. The savage fires at them, but Claire and Hayato deflect it. Emile takes on the savage but is injured, revealing her true gender. Hayato remembers her as the girl he saved years ago. He remembers her name, Emilia Hermit, and he protects her from the savage. Hayato activates his version of Bankai, a full body armament, and loses control, but Emile brings him back with a kiss. They defeat the savage with Hayato's Getsuga Tenshu. Hayato explains the battle to his sister, and Claire allows Emile to continue her pretense, but she has to move out of the apartment. Emile explains how she and Hayato got infected with the savage virus and they became variants. She notes that they are extremely powerful. Emile tells him he can learn to control his powers through training and not lose himself during battle. A popular singer, Sakura Kirishima, asks the academy for a bodyguard due to the savage's attacks. Hayato and Emile have a training session and Hayato tries to control his powers. Sakura wants Hayato to be her bodyguard and protect her during her stay on Zwei Island. Hayato tells Karen about his mission and she asks him to get an autograph of Sakura for her. Hayato and Liddy meet Sakura at the airport. Sakura likes Hayato and teases him about getting married to her, but Hayato shuts her plans down. Hayato accompanies her to all her public appearances. Sakura takes Hayato to the stage of her next concert and shows him her 100 fairy tale. Charlotte and Mai arrive and explain that Sakura is a field control slayer and she cannot create weapons. Hayato reports the mission's situation to Claire, and she asks him to meet her at a summer house in the morning. 3 individuals want to execute their plans after the concert. Sakura remembers the words of her mother, stating that music has the power to make people happy. Meanwhile, Hayato meets Claire in her summer house. Claire informs Hayato that a variant stone was stolen from Sakura's concert. The stone is a rare ore and Claire believes the thieves will come back for more. Hayato promises to guard and protect Sakura. Not long after, Hayato meets Emil for their date, but they hide after they spot Fritz and Leisha. They escape and continue on their date. Claire calls and informs Hayato that Sakura is missing. Sakura joins Hayato after tracking him down with a GPS. She takes him to a secret spot and Hayato abandons his date with Emil, but explains to her through a text. Sakura takes him to the Grand Canyon and thanks him for believing in her when she started singing. Yes, this guy has another childhood friend. Sakura tells Hayato about her past and informs him that she was infected with an unknown virus and lost her voice. She was sold by her father to a research facility, and they injected her with a vaccine made from savage fluids. She was cured by Vitali, but the facility wanted to create variants and continued administering the vaccine, killing all the test subjects except Sakura. Hayato lets it slip that he is also a variant, and this makes Sakura happy. On their way back, Sakura and Hayato are attacked by a savage. Hayato battles the savage and has to hold it off till reinforcement arrives. Sakura transforms and helps Hayato. She tells him to focus on the attack while she defends. Hayato defeats the savage with ease, but a second savage appears and attacks them. Fritz, Leisha, and Emil join the battle. They discover it can regenerate and decide to attack its core. The savage stops attacking Hayato after responding to Sakura's voice. Hayato is attacked by a variant and he is joined by 2 girls. They defeat the savage and one of them attacks Leisha and Fritz. Hayato figures these are the thieves that stole the variant stone. They retreat after harvesting the savage's cores, stating they work for Vitali. Reinforcement arrives and Claire explains that the thieves are hunters. Charlotte explains that the core has a similar structure to that of a variable stone. This means a savage core can function as 100 if reconfigured, and this will change the power balance of a country. Claire warns them not to tell anyone. Claire considers Fritz and Leisha's entries into the selection, and Hayato apologizes to Emil for their ruined date. Sakura believes her songs are not doing any good because a savage reacted to her voice, but Hayato reassures her. Hayato takes Karen to Sakura's concert and Karen remembers Sakura after she performs the song she sang to Karen years back. Charlotte decides to look into Sakura's voice and find out why it affects savages. Hayato, Karen, and his friends have fun at the beach. Emil is jealous of Sakura's closeness with Hayato and confronts her about it. Claire's older brother, Judar Harvey, arrives and compliments Hayato, calling him the holder of the divine blood. He's the chosen one. Claire leaves with Judar and she summons Hayato and his friends for a savage cleanup mission at Kin's Empire under the guidance of the peacekeeping army. Judar shows Hayato the power source of the academy, Lisa. Lisa is the first Slayer and variant created. She is also Judar and Claire's younger sister. Claire confronts Judar with a gun and asks why she told Hayato about Lisa. Judar believes Hayato can wake Lisa because he has divine blood. Hayato tries to wake her, but he fails. Judar reveals that Vitali Tiniano, his crazy ex, is after Lisa and he wants to stop her. Claire explains a new mission. She estimates that there are about 50 savages in the mountains near Tianquan City. Claire believes that the 3 hunters will show up and capturing them is the main aim of the mission. Bequan City. Claudia Lodi, Emil's childhood friend, sees Emil and reveals to Hayato that she is the princess of the Gutenberg. Emil reveals that her real name is Emilia Gutenberg and she is the 3rd princess of the family. A princess and an idol. My boy has some game. Claudia tries to convince Emil to return, but she refuses to go back because of Hayato. This angers Claudia and she challenges him to a duel and the Emil leaves with the winner. The duel begins. Claudia's weapon is an iron flail, but clearly Hayato wins by destroying it with a kendo sword. Claudia joins the mission and the selection members are assigned into teams to battle the savages. As night falls and they take turns standing guard, Claire and Hayato bond, but Claudia interrupts them and claims she saw Savage's shadow. Claire and Hayato find the savage. Claire tries to attack it and slips. Hayato saves her, kills the savage with one hit, and they head to the lake to wash off. Claire confesses to Hayato that Lisa was infected by their mother and she was born a variant. Lisa is in a comatose state because she released a forbidden power while protecting Claire. Claire believes she is a bad captain for putting her family first, but Hayato tells her that he does the same. Hayato receives an emergency call from Squad D and discloses that the hunters are attacking all the squads, taking their 100. The hunters also jam the selection's communications. Claire decides to help Fritz's squad. They are about to kill Liddy, but Claire arrives just in time and activates her full body armament and saves everyone. The hunters can't match Claire, but suddenly it starts to rain. The hunters' powers are increased in the rain. Claire cannot keep up with Kraven's speed and gets defeated. When Kraven is about to kill Claire, reinforcements arrive. The hunters fight with the selection members. Amelia's 100 can change forms. She defeats Nakri, one of the hunters, by pinning her against the wall and sucker punching her in the gut. She also easily beats Nesat while Hayato fights Kraven. Hayato sees the hunters' memories and how they were slaves to Vitali. Hayato activates his Chad full body armament. He beats Kraven easily with his Getsuga Tenshu. However, a flying savage interrupts their battle. The hunters agree to defeat the savage if they can have its core. Kraven goes Super Saiyajin and attacks the savage, but it erects a barrier and knocks Kraven back. The hunters deactivate the jamming device and Claire instructs all the slayers to attack the savage at long range. But the attack has no effect. Claire kisses Hayato, injecting the variant virus into her and enhancing her powers. All the slayers and hunters attack the savage, breaking its barrier, and Hayato kills it. Judar instructs Claire to transport the hunters to the academy. Hayato returns from a vacation and Claire discloses that they found Vitali's lab, but she was already gone and all the data has been erased. Claire reveals the academy will be having its second Garden Festa, an event that celebrates the creation of Little Garden, and security will be handled by a joint task force of Slayer. Sakura reveals she will be performing. While they prepare for the festival, Hayato finds out that Karen is going to sing alongside Sakura. Judah and Hayato wish Karen and Sakura good luck with their performance. While Sakura and Karen perform, Vitali infiltrates the garden with the help of Wendy. During the performance, Charlotte notifies Claire that Wendy was found unconscious and her memories have been wiped. Meanwhile, Be-like machines begin to self-destruct across the garden, causing a blackout. They discover that cleaning robots are turning into these machines. Claire deduces that this is the work of Vitali. She believes Vitali is after the hunters and tries to protect them. She declares the festival over and orders the civilians to evacuate. Claire also commands the Slayers to attack the machines. The machine corrupts the garden's air security. It prevents them from detecting the crash landing of 3 airplanes carrying coreless savages named replicants. These replicants are created from savage cores and variable stones, making them immune to conventional weapons. While Claire briefs Hayato and Emil of the situation, a 4th airplane crashes into the garden's barrier. Hayato decides to fight these replicants, destroying the barrier. Vitali rescues the hunter and gives them back their 100. They refuse to help her because she is hurting innocent people, but she forces them to do her bidding by brainwashing them. The selection defends the school against the replicants. Elsewhere, Vitali leaves with the hunters. Crazy X and the hunters are heading to Lisa. Judar tells Claire that he will deal with Vitali. Mei Mai catches up to Vitali and releases the hunters from her mind control. Vitali approaches Lisa but encounters Judar. Vitali claims she is doing all this to get back at Judar for deceiving her. After pretending to love her, Vitali uses the machines to emit sound waves that affect only Slayers, rendering them powerless. Judar tries to persuade Vitali, but she shoots at Lisa. However, Lisa is awake and deflects the attack. Judar reveals that Sakura's voice woke Lisa up and kills Vitali. The Slayers are being overwhelmed by the replicants. Lisa heals Karen and tells Sakura to sing. Hayato attacks a Trenta-class replicants but is unable to defeat the monster. The replicants are about to kill Hayato, but the hunters arrive to save him. Kraven is injured and Nesat loses control after absorbing the replicant's power. Charlotte reveals that Nesat will explode unless they kill her. Lisa kisses Hayato, granting him power, and asks that he save Nesat and the little garden. Hayato stops Claire from killing Nesat. He tries to reason with Nesat, but she attacks him. He finally gets through to her and saves her. Hayato and Emil decide to date. Everyone catches Hayato and Emil kissing and she reveals the truth about her identity. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.